Please be advised that Little Miss Recap contains adult language. Hi everyone, welcome to Little Miss Recap, the podcast where, oh God, we have to spend more time with Orion and Lauren.
I was going to say the podcast where we dip our balls in some beer tub. Like,
oh
what?
yeah, how about that? They were
What?
Michael and Chloe were sitting in a beer spa.
It's so weird.
Ugh.
I've never even
She
heard
said
of
on
that.
After Party that it was like just the hops and
Hops,
stuff, but
sure. A little weird.
I mean, I've soaked a chicken in beer to grill it on the grill, but this is very different.
Never soaked my lady bits in beer.
Yeah, Michael's got to get naked too. He's like, I'm taking them all off.
I mean,
It's wild. It's wild. These two kids are wild.
they're wild.
They're wild, guys. We got a lot to get to today, and I'm not going to bury the lead. We're going to start talking about After Party. So,
Oh, we are.
yes, let's just hash this
All
out
right.
right now because
All
the
right.
episode is there. It's waiting for us. I have my notes. But late last night, thanks to our friend over at Are You My Podcast, Sarah Colonna, I saw that After Party, there was going to be some business.
Yes.
So we reached out to Lifetime. They generously gave us the screener. We watched it. Wow.
Wow.
So the biggest revelation was Emily cheated on Brennan.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And
I know.
Cam, your boy Cam is kind of a monster. He was so mean, dude. He was like, can you do his voice in a very nefarious style, saying things like, "Oh, you want to talk about text receipts? I've got them." Can you do it for me like a Bond villain?
All right.
Because he was mean.
Cameron, you want to talk text messages? I've got them. We'll talk about them if you want. I've got them. I can't even do it. I don't even know how to do it. And
He
like, I
was
don't.
mean.
It felt abrasive. I don't want to say mean because I feel like Becca's energy was really bad anyway. Like she was,
Here's the thing. First of all,
Okay.
I just want to say I maintain my position that Becca and Austin are the best people on the show.
Oh, 100%.
I maintain my position that Austin is a good human being. I still believe that.
And I agree with you.
And I also believe Becca is a good human being. Now, is there
Agreed.
some truth to what Austin said that Becca may have gotten sucked into the cult of Claire and Emily? Maybe.
I kind of feel after seeing last week and then this week, I'm sort of agreeing with that a little bit. I mean, I tried real hard not to get on the train of all these girls are just ganging up on the guys and what have you.
Right. I just come from a place of believe women, but there are times where groupthink can be dangerous. And this is, I think
we can clearly see how that group thing becomes dangerous because they said something, and it might have been Keisha's hot husband who said something.
Who didn't need to be there. But anyway.
No, but I enjoyed the eye candy.
Ugh,
I mean,
okay.
He's very handsome. Come on,
I have
dude.
zero patience for her, but go on.
Well, he's not her. Let's
I know.
not,
I know.
give
He's
the
fine.
guy the space he deserves. He's a hottie. I'm just saying, I think he said something about how, or maybe I can't remember who it was. Somebody said something about how it appeared that Becca used this opportunity instead of saying to Austin, like, hey, this is what is going on. Like, she kind of used it as a way to kind of berate him a little bit and kind of jump into that space of like, this is what I know you did. Like she, with the girls, like, I'm taking care of this, or however they said it. They put it in a much better way than is coming out of my brain right now because.
Right. And she explained that from her point of view, Austin can be slippery.
Mm-hmm.
And she had to call him out in front of people who were witnesses so he couldn't weasel out of it.
Yes. And
we did see he was going to try to lie.
Oh, he didn't try to lie. He did lie.
Yeah.
He flat out fucking lied. He didn't try to. He did.
I still think he's a good human, though. I really do.
Amy, I think he's a good human,
and I think Becca is too. And it's unfortunate, again, if we had just had them in a separate house,
I
away from all
know.
these other yokels,
I
this
know.
might have worked.
And this is why I think you're right that this platform just doesn't work anymore.
Mm-mm. Now, I was on Daily DVR on Tuesday, and I was talking to Axel Foley, who covers and watches MAFS.
Mhm.
And he was saying that the Australian and UK version do this, that they live together in a building. And he thinks that's why the American
Yeah, I do
version
too.
adopted that. But
Mhm.
he said on that show, they're all fucking each other.
Yeah,
Now,
it's
I could get
wild.
into that if there's cheating and shit.
It's nuts. I watched one season of the Australia version and it was really good. I mean, it's a lot the drama is a lot different than this kind of drama that we get.
Hmm.
It feels a little bit more scripted for me.
Well, so let's circle back. So here's the exchange between Cam, Emily, or Cam, Brennan, no, help me, Becca,
Becca. Mhm.
and Keisha Knight Pullum. So they're talking about what went on behind the scenes,
Mhm.
and somehow text messages come up. Oh, because he's trying to say that he was super sweet, and Claire was like this master manipulator.
Yeah,
And
which
Becca's like, I have text messages. You've said awful, disgusting things to her. And I have the text messages, And he's like, well, I could show you them out of context, like he's going
I
nuts.
know. I know.
And he says, she didn't want me to tell anyone that Emily cheated on Brennan. And we all, what?
What?
What? And then he kept going, and Keisha Knight Pulliam's like, wait, what? Back up, back up, back up.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
turns out, and Becca is forced now to tell the secret
Mhm.
that Emily was trying. Now, I'm not on Becca's side or I'm not on Emily's side for this particular action.
No.
She says that um apparently Brennan was messaging girls on his iPad or something.
Yeah,
I
on
don't know.
Insta.
So
Mhm.
she goes out and makes out with an Australian in the bar,
I mean,
which who
I
amongst us?
have
But
rarely met an Australian in a bar that I didn't wanna make out with, but you
sure,
don't
but
have
like,
done it.
no, what are you doing?
I know, and I wonder now when this happened in the timeline.
Yeah, I wonder
I
too.
need to know that. That's
Hmm.
important. That's, like, an important bit of information.
And I do give, oh God, let me get the shame bell.
Oh god. Oh.
Oh wait, hold on.
Shame.
I do give Brennan credit that he
Shame.
did not tell us this on camera.
Um,
Shame.
yeah.
Mhm. Because he could have
Yes.
buried her in a minute.
He completely could have buried her, and we don't know that he hasn't because it hasn't come out yet.
We
I mean,
don't know.
maybe.
I mean, this obviously happened at some point during their marriage and we didn't know
Yeah,
about it.
I know. I
So, and
know.
obviously he knew about it. I don't know how he knew about it. Oh, maybe he didn't know till after the filming was done. Is that what you're saying?
Uh, I that's no, I think he knew before then.
How would he
I
find
think he
out?
know.
She would have had to tell him.
True.
I don't
I
know.
have no idea. I honestly don't know. I need to know though. So, one thing that I do think I learned from this after party, though, is I think we did get a little insight into, and again, this is just Cameron's take. I know how you feel about him. I agree to an extent. I don't fully agree with you on everything
I could
Cam
be totally
related.
wrong. He could be the nicest guy, but he does
No, no,
not
no,
come
no,
off
no.
that way to me.
I'm probably totally wrong. I don't
Yeah.
think he's the nicest guy. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think he's a horrible guy. I just
Mm-hmm.
think he doesn't know how to deal with his emotions and it comes off as abrasive
Yeah.
like it did tonight in that
Yeah.
episode. But I do kind of feel like it's validating a little bit the stuff that I've been saying about Claire all along.
Yeah,
I
Claire's
don't
a tough
trust
read,
her.
man. I
I
don't know
don't
what is
trust
going on
her.
with I don't you know what I'm gonna say? You brought up a good point. I don't trust any of these
No, I
motherfuckers.
don't either.
And
But
I feel fooled and I feel hurt and I demand an apology.
I don't trust her and I haven't for quite some time and I really think that she's been playing all sides of the coin here
Mhm.
with
Mhm.
everyone and I do feel like there's a little bit of manipulation that's been happening behind the scenes with her that I think she's played off as like under the guise of I care about you. I don't know. I just
Let's
something
talk
about her
about
actions feel icky to me.
I want to say something about Becca.
Okay.
Becca. Say it like your boy.
Becca. Becca.
Austin, you better be careful. I'm coming for Becca.
Austin, I'm
Um,
coming for Becca.
so here's the thing with Becca. Do I think that she was hanging out with Emily and Claire and they started throwing around the word silenced and she was like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god, this is what I feel and I'm going to take that word."
Yeah.
Yes, sure.
Me too.
Okay.
Me too.
But I still think that that was born of an inner voice somewhere inside her that said Austin is not being authentic on camera. Like
I could
something is not matching up here.
I, like, truly could not agree with you more on that.
Yeah, like I think it
Like, I
it was.
truly yeah.
And you know how that is, like, sometimes you just have a feeling and then somebody puts, like, a word to it or gives it
Yes.
voice or sees it and you're like, "Yes, that's
Yes,
it."
that's it.
But do
Mhm.
I think Austin was silencing her? I don't.
No.
I don't. He doesn't seem like the type hashtag never forget, I can't participate in the exploitation of sex workers. This is the same guy.
Yeah.
Like, I can't picture him being a monster off screen and being like,
No.
"I'm not letting you talk about what you want to."
No, I don't
It
either.
just doesn't
I
fit.
don't I agree with that. Um, I do think you're right, though, but did you notice in After Party, her body language was so not anything I was expecting from her. Like, she wasn't even making eye contact with the people when she was speaking to them, and that
All of
was
the
really
women
telling for
hate
me.
production. They don't wanna be there.
I know, but I feel like there has to be more than just
I
a
wonder if she
production
doesn't like
member's
Keisha
friends
Knight
with
Pulliam.
I don't know, I don't
I don't know.
understand. But the not being able to make eye contact, and I noticed it when the hot husband was talking, like,
Mhm.
he was looking at her and she was, like, looking at the floor, like, she would not even look him in the face, and I don't understand that. That's weird for me. I have a
Yeah,
weird thing with people that won't make eye contact when I'm talking to them, it drives me crazy.
okay. I don't know.
It
Becca's a
just
tough one for me because I
it
really like her.
I love her.
Yeah,
I'm just saying her body language
was
tonight
different.
felt different than anything I've ever seen from her, and
Mhm.
I was confused by it. That's all. Like, it was
Yeah,
just
no, no,
not
no,
what
I
we've
get
seen
that.
from her.
Yeah, I don't know. This is I need I don't know. One thing I have to say is I'm disappointed because I feel like we can't trust anything that happened this season.
No, we can't.
And I'm not into that.
I'm not either because it
That's not
makes
what I want.
right, it makes the whole premise of the show feel fake for me.
Right, and
And
you can have authenticity and for it to be messy. We saw
we
that on
had
Couple to
that.
Throuple. It was messy as fuck, but everybody was who they said they were.
Right, but I also feel like we have seen that in previous seasons of MAFS as well. I just
Yeah,
think
sure.
something started to change
Yeah.
in this platform that is just really bonkers, and it's changed everything. But I will say that is something like there's so many people and like backdoor friends that have said, "Oh, you have to watch the UK and the Australian
Mhm.
versions. They're so much better." And like I said, excuse me, I have seen one, and while I loved the drama because it was wild and whatever, there was a huge part of it that felt like none of these people were real people. Like, they all felt like actors to me. And
Yeah, I
that's
hate
why
that.
I kind of never really went back and gave it another, like, watched another season, because it felt way too far inauthentic, like the other way. It was just not
Well,
authentic to me at all.
and this is the problem I have with this production company.
I
They did
agree.
this to us with Love is Blind. Never forget season 2. Like, Natalie and
Mhm.
Shane get up to the altar. Natalie's like, "Well, we had this huge fight the night before," or whatever. I don't know if they make it to the altar, but she says the day of the wedding day, like, "I'm not doing this because we had this huge, crazy fight. We didn't see this."
Right.
And then there's all these other people who, like, all of a sudden, all this shit comes out about their journey,
Right.
and they're saying no at the altar, and we're like, "Wait a minute,
What
what?
what?
Like,
I
we
know.
thought everything was fine."
I
Like,
know.
this you're not it's a failure in storytelling. Like, you're not having an unreliable narrator is one thing, but when everyone is an unreliable character in the show as well, it's like, who do we trust? Who do we believe? Who
Yeah.
can we like the audience needs somebody, you know what I
I know.
mean, to be guiding them through, and we don't have anybody here.
And do you wanna know what's funny to me? I think this entire time up until this point, and for no reason other than this is only as far as we are, that has been Becca for me.
It was Becca for me too.
Mhm.
But now I hear her, like, saying things like Austin used to vape and he lied and I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
"Really?
weird.
We're pissed off that he's vaping?"
That was
Like,
I
it was weird.
mean, I don't know how I would feel about like, if I was matched with someone that was a smoker, for example.
Mhm.
I do not like smoking. Like,
Mhm.
I hate it. I don't know how I
Mhm.
would feel being paired with someone that was a cigarette smoker. Maybe that's just, like,
Right, but
you
vaping
know.
is not cigarette smoking.
No, I know that. No, no, no,
Yeah.
no. I'm just saying maybe she feels that way about vape. I don't know because
Maybe,
then she
maybe,
said she didn't
maybe.
care that he vaped, but then why was he high? I don't know. The whole thing made no sense.
Again, I think her core issue with him is around him being authentic.
Yeah, he was
'Cause
not
she's right,
yeah.
like, if he lies about little things, because then Keisha's husband was like, "Well, you're not giving him a safe place to say that he ba." I did not I know you liked him, I did not. I felt he was
No,
no.
no, no. Hold
Mm-mm.
up. I just said I thought he was hot.
Sure, but
That's all that I said.
I know,
I don't
there's
know
just
him I don't know him to make an opinion either way. I just thought he was really good looking. It was surface level asshole me just being like, "This guy
you
is
know what it
super
had
hot."
the feel of? You know what it had the feel of?
Oh, what?
The Lachey's.
Yes!
Like, "We've been married for 5
Ew.
minutes, let us tell you how it's done."
Yes. Ew, ew,
Yeah,
ew. You're
I didn't
right.
like it. Okay.
Yes.
Alright, should we
Agreed.
get into the episode, I guess?
I mean, I guess.
Was there anything else on After Party? I mean, we talked a long time to Brennan. We talked a long time to Cameron and Becca. Chloe, we didn't talk too much about.
No, not really. She was kinda quiet.
But that was the big reveal. The big reveal was that
Alright, let's talk more about
Emily cheated on Brennan.
before we move on. What do you think about that? We kind
About
of we
Emily cheating
really
on Brennan?
yes.
I mean, it's hypocritical.
I
Like,
know.
that's not the answer, but this is again her immaturity. Somebody in their first relationship.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
was Brennan cheating? Even if Brennan, let's say she walked in and caught him fucking somebody in their apartment. The answer is to not go out and fuck somebody else yourself. The answer is to get a divorce and leave
I know.
or whatever. Decide to
I
work,
know.
whatever. I'm just saying it's not eye for an eye here. That's
No.
never the answer.
No, it's not. I just was curious what your
What do
take
you think
was.
about
I
it?
didn't see that coming at all. I'm not
I
even gonna
didn't see it
lie.
coming. No.
That slapped me right upside my head. I
But
was
do you
like,
think she was justified or do you think it was an immature
well,
response?
I, I don't think it was. I mean, I guess that's where I'm trying to say where, like, I need to know where in the timeline this happened.
Me
Did it
too.
happen early on when there might have been a shot? Or did it happen where she knew he was 100% checked out? I don't know that that would have excused it. I don't know how I feel because that's so hard to make a call on that because people cheat for all different kinds of reasons.
Sure.
And I am not here to judge why anyone does that.
Right,
You
but
know,
here's the thing, she's also on TV saying, "You're a fucking idiot, you
I
wanted to
know,
look like a good guy and you couldn't keep it in your pants for X amount of times."
I
Meanwhile, she's
know,
cheated.
I know.
Like,
And
you couldn't not cheat for 8 weeks?
that's the that's where I take
Right,
issue. Yeah,
right, yeah,
yeah, mhm, because
mhm.
she's played this completely inauthentic person too then.
Yeah, like, up is down is up.
Yeah.
I don't know
I'm
what to
not
think
here
here.
for that. And you know what? I was so on the fence about Emily from the beginning. Like, I didn't like her only because I thought she was a little bit annoying, but then she was growing on me. And then I was like, I don't know. But now I'm just back to like, she had no business being on this show. She sold us a lie as well. And
Mhm.
I'm not here for either of those people, Brennan or Emily. They both belong in the trash pile as far as I'm concerned. I'm sorry
Yeah,
she had a terrible accident. I don't mean anything about that. I'm just saying as humans, I think they both kind of suck.
I would say out of a cast of 8, you could throw 5 of them on the 4 of them on the trash pile.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And Michael and Chloe TBD. We don't know.
TBD, TBD for
Yes.
sure, for sure.
I like them so far. They both seem like great humans, but there's plenty
Yep,
of time for them to disappoint us.
of course.
Okay. So we open on the girls. This is Married at First Sight, season 17, episode 21.
Yeah, by
20
the
minutes in.
way,
20 minutes in. So we're climbing down from decision day. We open on the girls. They're all chilling together and they're doing some diary cams. And Emily says, none of the men have texted us to see how we are. None of them. And Becca's like, how much did Austin lie about shit that I didn't catch him in? Like, I caught him vaping. And I
Oh
caught
my
him out with the
goodness,
producer.
I
Now, he
know.
did explain this producer business.
I know.
It seemed like I don't think there was a romantic interest there on his part.
I don't either.
It sounds like maybe there was a romantic interest from his
His
friend.
friend. That's what I thought too.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes.
Me too.
Because if you didn't see it, guys, on After Party, I know our Canadian backdoor friends can't watch After Party, which is ridiculous. Austin walked us through what happened. He's like, we became close to production through all of this, and
Yep.
so did my friends. So one night, my friend wanted to go out, like take the production team out, I guess, for the last time because we wouldn't see them again. And they text me, and I agreed to go along. Becca didn't want to go. She doesn't drink. She's not really into that. She wanted to recharge. So
Mm-hmm.
I went, and there was a whole group of us. So
Right.
that was Austin's side of it. Okay. So Emily says, us girls have each other. And Claire says, Cam felt so guilty. That's why he left the showdown at the OK Corral, is what I'm calling out the shootout at the OK
Mm-hmm.
Corral.
Mm-hmm.
So Becca's packing, and I'm never going to step on Sarah Colonna's toes here. But there
Oh.
was this song.
Song.
Picking up the pieces of my broken heart, broken heart, broken heart. I'm like, no, stop. Stop.
I
Please
know.
stop.
How about I did take a note though. I do think it's annoying that when the girls are together, it's just all like girls versus boys. Like I feel like it's a bunch of elementary kids like throwing the ball on like girl like
Girls just don't wanna have fun. Like, they're gonna start
I
playing that. Oh, they
no,
can't
I
pay for that.
don't
Never
even
mind.
fucking feel like that. I just feel like they're all throwing like balls at each other from the
It's so
opposite sides
stupid.
of the
Yeah.
street, and it's
Yep.
just it's so dumb and immature. Look,
S
some of the I think even Emily said, "Wouldn't it be nice if we had men here to help us carry these things?" And I'm just like, "Shut!
Yeah.
Like that's
Shut up.
stupid. Shut
So
up."
Claire comes over and Becca says, Austin called and he said he doesn't understand why he can't have a friendship with the producer and a relationship with me as a wife. Now, I have no doubt that when Becca brought up this producer thing, Claire and Emily were like, oh my God, he's totally fucking her. He's totally cheating. Because
I
Emily for
know.
sure was married to a gaslighter. So she's probably
Oh
like, oh
yeah.
my God, this is terrible. Becca says she worked hard to do the work. So she's not a controlling and gaslighting person, and she has been in the past.
Hmm.
And she says, I can't be with someone who hasn't done the work. Now, that part I see.
Yeah.
I'm
Same.
so tired of being surrounded in my life by people who don't go to therapy.
Correct. Men and
Um,
women, not just men.
yes.
Hmm.
So Claire is like, what are you going to do with the fish? And Becca says, I'm having some evil thoughts. I thought, oh my
Is
God, is
she
she
gonna
going to
flush it?
flush it?
That's what I thought too. I was like, if she flushes those fish, I'm
Oh.
gonna light my house on
Well,
fire.
I'm like, she can't do it on TV. Gotta wait till the
I
camera's
know.
off. So
But
she's
then
like, I
she
might take one. Oh, ah, ah, ah. Okay. All
but
right,
then
let's
she
calm down.
says something that really pissed me off.
Oh, what'd she say? Maybe he'll have a Christian woman someday?
She says something like, maybe the fish will have a Christian mom that will pray over
Oh, a
them.
Christian mom, yeah.
And I thought that was a nasty dig for no
Yeah,
reason. We
because I
didn't need to
mean,
come for the religion. That
again,
pissed me.
I
And
am I am an atheist and I
mhm,
believe strongly that it works both ways. If you're gonna
agreed.
I expect you to respect my atheism,
Yep.
then I'm gonna respect your Catholicism, Christianity, Mormonism, whatever.
Yep.
I'll respect
I
it.
I completely agree with that, and that's
Yep.
exactly how I felt. Like it was just a comment that I understood because again, we all say silly things when we're with our friends that we
Sure.
don't intend for, the public to hear or whatever. And not to say that you shouldn't say things on camera that you wouldn't say whatever. I'm just saying it was not it was a dig that felt nasty
I agree.
unnecessarily.
I agree. So now Emily's packing and she gets a call from Steph, her friend Steph.
Mhm.
Did you see that?
I sure did.
And Steph says, you're grieving. You created a life with someone. What? What? You lived for a week with this guy.
Yeah.
Emily says, I want to just go back to being a nomad and traveling, and that'll help me get through this. And I've been crying a lot, but I have no regrets. No regrets. Because this will teach me to be a better partner, and I'm appreciative of that. Okay.
Actually, what she says is, I'm appreciative of that.
She does say appreciative. She does. You're right. You're right. I believe I even yep, I have that spelled out phonetically and I
Did
didn't read
you?
it that way. Yep. Appreciative of that.
Yeah.
So Emily helps Becca move him back into her place. And like you said, Emily's like, I wish we had some guys here to do this. And Emily tells the camera, Becca's an amazing woman, will always be friends. Then they talk about why the men have treated them this way, and there must have been a reason they were sending out into the universe. So they're self reflecting.
Mhm.
And Emily says, I used to be really reactive, and I'm working on that. And Becca tells her, you will be an amazing partner to someone someday because you can take constructive criticism and you're willing to grow and you're willing to listen. And Emily starts to cry.
Mhm.
Mhm. Now Becca calls some friend and we learn that she hasn't been paying her employees, apparently.
How what? That was
This must be her photo assistant
I
who like
figured
did a
as
wedding with
much.
her and she owes
Yeah.
her money. Okay.
But, like, what?
Yeah. She's like, I
How
got all wrapped up in Austin. Sorry I didn't send you your check so you could pay your rent.
that's terrible.
And the friend is like, that sucks, dude. You've spent a lot of energy on this. And Becca's like, I have high standards. I know that. And maybe I did demand too much of him. And the friend says, you're a talker and you're a processor, and he couldn't do that with you.
And I think that's exactly it. I
Yeah.
truly think that that's a big part of why this didn't work.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that these people were necessarily poorly matched.
Right.
I think given the right circumstance or maybe even setting, it might have gone a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Like, if they were together, like you had said a bazillion times, like, not living together with all of these other people, I
Mm-hmm.
really would have liked to see what that would be like.
Me too.
But
I think they could have made it.
I do too. I
Yeah.
really do too. I
So now
know.
Becca and Emily go to a psychic medium.
I have to tell you, I have
You would totally do this. You would
always
totally do
wanted
this.
I have always wanted to do an aura photo. My grandmother did this back in, like, the early 90s, late 80s, I
And you
remember.
and you would invite me to do this, and what would I say?
What would you say?
I would say no.
You would?
Yes, I'm not doing this.
You're
No. Mm-mm.
you're
Mm-mm.
lame. You
Nope.
guys, backdoor friends.
Nope.
Some other friend will do this with me.
So they're
I
getting aura
live for
photos
this
done.
shit.
I
I
know. I
live
can't. I
for
can't.
this shit.
So they tell this woman, look, I just had this conversation. We were talking about psychics and stuff on Seeking Sister Wife this week. Here's my thoughts on it. And I did tell the story about how you and I went to the medium and I felt they were
Mhm.
exploiting that poor old
Poor old
man who
man.
went every time. But here's the thing. Psychics, mediums, we all heard the story. My gram lived and died by psychics, Bozak,
Mhm.
possessed. We all heard the story.
Same. My gram too.
Um, I think it has its place as something fun if you don't take it too seriously. You know what I mean? Like I I could see somebody grieving and wanting to go and maybe hearing something that makes them feel better, fine. It's when they start exploiting and taking somebody's like a lot of somebody's money that bothers me. That's
Well,
all.
right. I don't
And
agree with
most
that.
most of them don't do that. So I just want to
Yeah.
be very clear about
I
that.
mean, I have I sit on the fence with this because it was such a huge part of my upbringing
Me too.
because I was so close to my grandmother and my
Mhm.
dad, which is weird because, like, it's not usually a guy thing, but my dad
Mhm.
was very much into this as well.
Yeah.
So it's just part of how I grew up. So while I say that I don't live and die, like breathe by it, like I don't,
Mhm.
but I
Mhm.
do pay a lot of attention to it. And
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Maybe my grandmother being involved in it colored how I feel about it because my gram was widowed at 40. My grandfather died when
Mhm.
she was 40 and she threw herself into this world and she started going to psychics and she really should have been going to therapy. You
Well,
know what I mean?
right,
She was grieving and she didn't know what to do with that. So like
right,
this is where she put that and that's fine. Like that worked for her.
right. But
But
how
there were
many
no
people?
long-term results from that. It didn't change
No.
how she thought about things or help her, you know what I mean? Like
Mm,
it didn't
no.
it may have helped temporarily in the moment, but she went on to make some real bad decisions in her life. And I can't help but think like if she had gotten help, which wasn't a thing. This was 19 my grandfather died in
But that's
1978.
what I
It
was
was
gonna
not a
say.
thing. It
Like
was not a thing. Right.
therapy wasn't really
Right.
at all a thing. Well, I mean, it was a thing, but people weren't regularly going to therapy then.
Correct. Correct.
And I don't think that people use mediums or, this psychic realm as a means of therapy
I
either.
think they could sometimes though. When they're grieving and going through a hard time, they want that connection, I feel like. And that's
No, I
fine if you do
know.
it once or twice, but my grandmother didn't have a pot to piss in, and she was giving these psychics her money. You know what I mean? I feel like that was her decision, but it was like, it felt weird. I guess where I land on it, and guys, join in the comments here and let us know what you think. Like where I land on it is it's to me, it should be something people do take lightly. You know what I mean? Like for fun or maybe once or twice if you're but know what it is when you go into it. I guess is what I'm saying. Like
Well,
go into it knowing what it is.
but I guess that's the big missing link though, is we don't know what it is.
Mm-mm.
Just like religion, just like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like we don't know.
Yeah. No, we don't. Mm.
So, I
This
don't
has been
know.
Amy and
I
Stephanie's
just
Psychic Corner.
I'm disagreeing with you on this one, but that's
That's
okay.
okay. Most people will probably disagree with me on this because I'm
What's
jaded
funny,
as
you
fuck, and
guys,
I'm sorry, I just
I know you
am.
are. What's funny, guys, is about a month ago, maybe a little 6 weeks-ish ago, I went to a medium.
And what did I tell you when you were going?
I don't even remember because I probably
Because
didn't
you
even
were
pay
nervous
attention.
wreck about going, and I was saying to you,
Yeah,
dude, keep this in perspective of what it
I
is.
know.
Take it with a
So
grain of
let
salt.
me no, 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 no. So let me tell you why I was nervous. I get nervous that someone is going to tell me something bad is gonna happen to one of my
Of
kids,
course.
and I
Yeah.
just don't wanna know that. That's what I was
Right.
nervous about. However, I went to this session completely open. I even brought I really wanted to hear from my dad because it's been years since I have gone to a medium or a psychic, whatever, that I've connected with my dad.
Mhm.
And the entire session was about Amy.
Of course.
It really was. I called you after.
Uh,
You guys, my entire session with this psychic was like, who is this woman in your life? You have such a connection with this like, it was truly all about my love for fucking Amy.
oh
Like,
my
it was
gosh.
ridiculous. It was so
And then
ridiculous.
I was suddenly like, "You know what? That psychic is right." She's a great psychic. What's her name?
It was all about
Uh,
you. It was just
I don't know.
funny.
I have
We have
never I've gone to them like, as casual whatever, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I have
I mean, I guess it depends on your
I
person. I
get
mean, I'm
weird
somebody that
stick in the mud energy around certain things. Casinos is
I know
another
you
thing.
do.
I get real weird about casinos.
Well, Amy, casinos and psychics don't even belong in the same conversation, you psychopath.
Do you know, like, I could easily have casinos. So I don't know if you guys listen to a lot of podcasts on other networks, but the casinos are always advertising on podcasts. I
Yeah.
refuse to let them advertise on this podcast.
Amy,
You'll never
I
hear one on
hate
here.
casinos. But here's the thing, I don't like casinos just because that's not an environment that I like to be in.
Right.
Like, I have 0
Right.
interest in it. But again, it has nothing to do one has nothing to do with the
I
other.
have the stupidest principled stances on things. I
You
and
on
and
this
I
one, I'm gonna
acknowledge,
say you
guys,
do.
I acknowledge I'm an asshole. Okay, let's move on.
No,
All
not
right.
an asshole.
So Becca didn't pay her employee, and she's like, okay, whatever, gotta go. Now they go to this psychic medium. They're getting the aura photos done, and they tell this woman their life story. So of course she's gonna know what to say about the photo, but that's just the cynical Amy
Oh,
stepping in.
stop.
Oh my god, I wrote then the psycho reads Becca's aura, but I meant psychic.
I hate
No, it
you.
was a typo. The psychic reads Becca's aura, and she says
But it wasn't a
it
typo, it was really your
was a
psyche
Freudian
coming
slip.
out.
So
Yeah.
she says people feel nurtured and safe around you, and you need to make sure you're receiving as much as you're giving. Becca and Emily are like, whoa, mind blown. Phew, this woman got us right. And Emily's is similar. But the psychic says there's an aura of protection. You know who you are and you're non apologetic and you embrace life. She says your relationship was infatuating and then it fell apart. They're both like dead on, dead on. Yeah. And then we see a little clip of Becca starting to like, go back and forth on her
Question.
relation or her
Yeah.
idea here. And she's like,
Her
I kind of miss Austin. I wonder if I made a
yeah.
mistake. Hey everyone, stay tuned. Little Miss Recap will be right back after these words.
I know. I
Are they going to get back
was
together? This is
wondering.
wild.
It is
It didn't
wild.
seem
I
like
don't
it on
think
After
so.
Party.
Based on her body language on After
Yeah.
Party, I'm gonna go with a big fat no.
Yeah.
They don't get back together, but I did see the waffling in the decision. I
Waffling,
mean,
thank
what
you.
was
That's
that?
the word I was looking for.
She was like talking to her. That was her mom, right?
I don't know.
I think it was her mom
So
on the
now we
phone.
see Austin for 5 minutes. He's moving back in with his roommate. He's happy to be home. The roommate is like, what's going on? Was the breakup explosive? Austin said the process of filming was a big issue. And then I went out with the producer and I lied to her. And the roommate, Kyla, is just like, oh God, you're an idiot. You got in your own way here. And Becca told him
Yeah,
apparently that she wanted to disconnect completely from him. No following on Instagram, no nothing. And he said this is the hardest time of his life. And then I think he starts crying.
I think he did too. Can I say
Yeah,
something
go
though?
ahead.
That friend, I just want to highlight.
How perfect
Sorry,
the
my
friend
dog
was.
just made like a weird noise. She like sneezed or something. Yes, her
She was
reaction to
great.
this,
Yeah.
she was
Mm-hmm.
wonderful. And like, I just loved how she wasn't bashing Becca. She wasn't
No.
bashing the
Nope.
process. Like, all the other friends are kind of like, rallying. And I get it. Like, we all do that for our
Yep.
friends. But I really enjoyed this perspective of she kind of like, I don't want to say gave him shit for lying, but you could tell she was like, dude,
Yeah.
But she also didn't speak poorly of Becca.
No.
And I appreciated
I
that.
did
I
too.
really
She
did.
handled it perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she's like, is there anything you would, then he goes out with his bros and they're like, is there anything you would have done differently? And he's like, yeah, I wouldn't have lied to my wife. So there's that whole
Yeah.
thing. Then he says, we talked, but the vibe is that there's no salvaging this. So, I don't know. He's wearing his backwards hat. One of the guys, I'm sorry, he's wearing his hat. One of the bros has the backwards hat with the Oakleys on the neck. Do you notice? We had that
I
look
sure
going
did.
still.
I sure
Friends are like, what'd you do? And he's like, I fucked it all up. So that's all we see from him.
Yeah.
Now we go to Brennan. Oh, God.
Can we just skip over it?
Nothing happens. He goes into a bar with this bro, Chris, and they get drinks, and he's like, that bartender's hot. Fuck off. I just hate his face. I don't know why.
I know, me too.
And Chris is like, how you doing being single again? Like, you said divorce wasn't an option. What's going on? He's like, well, when I was miserable, I had to put my pride. Oh, let me get my index card and see what the producers want me to say. When I became miserable in the marriage to my best friend, Emily, I decided then to leave the marriage and put my pride aside because I am how do you say this word? I am a vulnerable, enlightened man. Okay, whatever, dude. So Chris asks, like, what are you going to be looking for now? And Brennan's like, this taught me how to ask some more questions. And he tells us, Steph, that he's had some growth. He's had growth and he knows how to ask questions now that will get you deeper.
Oh,
Okay. Then he
Amy.
says, and this is totally set up. Again, production's like, Chris, ask him if he had any regrets. So Chris is like, you have any regrets? And Brennan's like, yeah, I saw a diary cam of her unfairly unloading on me. And I was like, can you delete this? And she accused me of being controlling. I don't want to see her again. Okay. We're done.
Please, I can't. Can we never talk about him again?
Well, let's scoot down to the scene no one asked for, which is Lauren and Orion.
But we're missing a good one.
Gonna,
well, maybe we'll get to it.
To who? Michael and Chloe?
No, Cameron.
Did we see him?
Amy, we need to. All right, you guys. I'm going to stop you.
Oh, did they talk on the phone?
He and Michael talk on the
phone.
phone.
Oh, I have that in Michael's section. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. That's in Michael.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they go archery hunting. She's aiming right for Orion's fucking head.
Who ordered Orion in this
I
episode?
don't know, but
I need to know who's ordering
I have to
him.
say something.
Okay. Oh, God, I'm scared.
Shame.
Oh, no.
He looked
Motherfucker.
good.
Amy, no, he didn't.
I need to go to a psychic and deprogram myself.
Amy.
I can't help it.
No.
I can't help it. I can't help it.
I'm
The
coming up, I'm
minute
ordering a
look,
punch
the
to your
minute he opens
face.
his mouth, I'm out. But he looked good.
When your doorbell rings, you better go answer it because it's gonna be a punch in the
Joke's on
face.
you, I don't have a doorbell. Okay. So he says they win, they sat down, they chat about their growth. And he's like, it was a blessing and a lesson. And I feel blessed building this bridge. And
Oh,
Lauren asks if he's dating, and he
that's
says,
me dry
he
heaving.
says, well, I'm still kind of hung up on you, and I want to be more
Ugh.
than friends. And then I wrote, he looks hot here. Please save me from myself.
Can you do me a favor?
Hit myself in the face with something.
No, I would like you to get a sound effect of a cat hacking up a hairball because that's what I need every time Orion
Yeah,
comes
it's
on the
bad.
screen.
It's real bad.
Like that ridiculous meme of like the cat hurling. That's what I need every time we see
Then
Orion.
he pretty
Please work on that for next
he pretty
week.
much asks her if they could be friends with benefits.
I can't, Amy. I hate him so
And
much. I
she
hate him
says,
so
no,
much.
I think my time is better spent somewhere else. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yes.
Thank you for being the only
Mm-hmm.
reasonable
Mm-hmm.
individual on this entire show right now.
Mm-hmm.
She's the only one at this point in time that I trust,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? I'm sorry, but she's the
She's
cheese stance
been
alone.
through the
She's my
ringer, man.
cheese,
Jesus.
and I am here for Lauren.
Yeah, I want to throw Orion on the garbage pile, but I'll think he
He's
looks
on
good
it.
while he's flying through the air. Okay.
No, I'm going to punch her so
So
hard.
Michael and Chloe, for some reason, they're farming. I don't know what's happening here. They're on a farm. And it felt like Green Acres. Like they were just on this farm. It felt like when David um Rose goes to the Amish country.
This was one of my favorite
Oh, I
scenes.
liked it
Michael
too, but I
dressed
just
up
thought it
like a
was right.
farmer.
I thought it was just odd. I was like, oh, okay, why are we farming all of a sudden?
Oh
I like the
no, but
scene.
she wants no, I think it's because she wants to run an
Well,
animal sanctuary and she was taking
I
him.
wrote, for some reason we have Chloe and Michael farming. Oh, Chloe dreams of having an animal sanctuary. Okay, that
Yeah.
explains it.
See, this is something that I would love to
But when we
do.
first opened on it, weren't you like, what are we doing? I was like
No, well,
really
no, I don't
confused.
know. I guess because I kind of I don't know. I wasn't
Then we
confused by it.
meet disabled
I know.
cows,
And I was crying
cows with
too.
wheelchairs.
Amy,
Chloe starts
you know how
crying.
much you know how much I love
Yep.
cows. You guys, there's a cow on Instagram. I
You
can't
care
remember
more
the
about
name of the
cows than
page.
some people.
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
wholeheartedly. And some of those cows deserve my love more than humans, okay? Humans are terrible. What did a cow ever do to
Cows
anybody?
are
Let's
great.
not talk
Cows are
about
great.
mad cow, cow disease,
So
whatever.
Michael's like, okay, I never thought about living on. Okay, so I have to tell a true story. This happened to me last night.
Oh no, I'm scared.
Anyone who knows me knows I like to travel. I've always wanted to travel, but we don't really have a lot of money to travel, so we haven't really traveled far and wide. Okay.
You've traveled.
Right, but not to the extent I would like to. So
Okay.
Timmy also likes to travel. So last night he just got this bug up his ass and he's like, "Oh, I
Ooh.
just want to travel. I want to, get in the truck and just drive across the country and we'll just throw a tent in the back." And I'm like, "A tent?
No.
A
No.
tent and an air mattress." And I'm like,
Mm. You
okay."
know what?
So then I had to very politely say to him, "I am a lady of a certain age. I can't
Yeah.
sleep on the ground anymore. Like, I just can't."
No.
And then he's like, "Oh, they have these things for the back of his truck, like a roof tent." And I'm
No.
like, "I'm going to roll off that platform."
Do you know that I just bought one of those for Patrick for Christmas?
What, a tent?
A car tent that attaches to the car.
Yeah, but Patrick likes
Because
to
we like to
camp.
camp. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
And
So do
and I
I.
like to camp occasionally, but I don't want to like my idea of going across the country would be popping into little roadside motels and camping. A combination of
No,
both.
you know what my dream of going cross country would be? To rent like an Airstream and just drive that bitch across
Yeah, yep.
country.
He wants to
That's the
buy like an
dream.
Airstream and fix it up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, that's
That would be
exactly the
better. I
dream,
could do
dude.
that. I could do that.
So maybe here's what needs to happen. I think Timmy and I need to go on this trip together and you can stay home with Patrick.
So Michael's kind of like, I'm getting the same vibe from him because he's kind of like, okay, like,
Yeah.
I could live on a farm, but not like this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he says, "This is pretty touching." And Chloe's like, "This is my dream." And Michael's like, yeah, me too." And then the director of the animal sanctuary is like, "Here's your rakes. Go rake up some shit."
I
Chloe tells
know,
Michael that
but
since she was a little kid, her dream was to have an animal sanctuary. And Michael's like, "Okay, I'm behind that idea, but how much are we talking here?" And Chloe says, "Like half the size of this place."
yeah, which was big.
That
That
place,
was even a lot for
yeah.
me.
And Michael's like, "Would
But
there be a farm and domestic animals?" And Chloe's like, "Yeah, senior and hospice." Then she says,
I
"I also
never.
want to foster troubled teens and like
Yeah, this is where
5
she
at a
lost me.
time." I'm like, "Oh my god."
This is where I morphed into Michael and immediately divorced her.
Yeah, this is guys, look, here's my stance on this. God bless the people out there who can do this kind of shit. I
Same,
support you. I would donate all my money to you. I love what you're
same.
doing. I admire you. I can't do all this. I could foster a few animals, maybe one or
Yes.
two kids. I can't do it on the scale Chloe's talking about.
So I could foster all of the animals. That I would be very good at. But that's just
But I
my
keep saying,
person.
who's
I
paying
would
for
be
this?
well, obviously I would have to be able to afford it. Look, we're talking about a
Like,
dream
if money
world,
were
of
no
course.
object, would I do it? Yeah, I'd probably have like a little farm, but I couldn't get over like 10 or 15 animals.
Let me tell you something. If I could afford it, I would have an animal sanctuary. I would a bazillion percent do that, hands down. You know that about me. What I would not do was foster children because I would be a horrible mother.
See,
And
I
I
feel
know
the
that.
opposite. I would rather foster the children,
No,
but I don't know if I could do like, here's the thing, Chloe, I'm raising 2 teenagers. I'm telling you
I
right
know.
now, it's
That's, I guess,
it's not
that's where
fun.
my bad take is
It's
coming
not
from.
fun. I don't
That's, I'm
think
like,
she
I'm going to be,
understands the magnitude of, like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Wait, what does she do for a living again?
She works for a nonprofit. She's like
Oh,
their
that's right.
manager or
That's right. That's
something.
right. That's right. That's right.
But
Yeah, I
it's a
mean, I'm
lot
coming
of
at
work, and those
this
kids need a lot of love and
a
attention. If
lot.
you have 5,
I
you're gonna
know.
be spread too thin. That's all I'm saying.
That's where I felt Michael's hesitation because I'm like, yeah, I could get behind like one or two foster
Yeah.
kids if I had to. And I'm not talking shit about foster
No, I
kids.
always
I'm just
wanted to,
coming
like,
from this.
adopt kids. I think that's
Yes,
a
I
great
am,
thing to do.
but I'm just saying this. I'm coming from this as a place of somebody that's parented teenagers. It's not, it's fucking hard. I can't even imagine trying to parent someone else's because I'm fucking up royally at my own. That's why I'm saying I would be terrible at this just because I would.
It
And
Go ahead.
my husband teaches, is a teacher and teaches high school
Mhm.
students. They're a fucking
They're a
nightmare.
nightmare.
He loves it,
Yeah.
but it takes a real special person to be able to connect with kids on that at that age. For some reason my husband does it very well.
Mhm.
I do not.
Mhm.
Like he'll have events like at school or whatever, like art shows and stuff, and I'll go to them always, you know. And I want to like, I'm always like, I don't know what to do. There's kids in here. What do I say to them? And he's just
See,
like,
I
I
connect
don't know how
really
he
well
does
with
it.
that age group.
And I can't. I
I
don't know
teach
why, but I
freshmen, so
can't.
they're, like, 19. And yeah.
I always end up being like inappropriate. Like I'll drop an F bomb
Yeah.
just because I'm just I get nervous or
Yeah.
something, and I'm just like,
No,
oh, and I do something inappropriate.
kids. Like, I always liked kids, but my thing is,
My
I think this is coming from a place of immaturity with her because I don't think she realizes, like, I think when people
I
are
don't know that
mature,
that's.
they know their boundaries, and she doesn't realize, like, she's setting herself up for disaster if you're gonna take on 5 kids.
I don't think it's an immaturity more so than I think she's just biting off more than she
Yeah,
can
it's like,
chew. That's
maybe
all.
immaturity is the wrong word. Maybe, like, just pie in the sky. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah, yeah,
"Girl."
yeah. Her eyes are bigger than
Yeah,
her
"Girl,
belly. That's what I
this
mean.
is not gonna work."
Hmm.
So
Well, it might work.
Michael's ready
It
to run
were. I
away.
mean, well, yeah. I mean, I am too
Mhm.
at this point though.
He's kinda
But
like,
I
"I
really,
don't think you realize how much work it is to foster troubled teens, let alone 5 while running a
yeah,
farm for 1,000 dying animals."
yeah. He's not wrong.
No, and I think he rightfully thinks, like, we can't bring 5 foster teens here and have them working the farm.
Right. Right. And I think he's looking at this realistically
Yes.
from like a realistic lens, and she's looking at it from like a rose-colored dream
Yep.
lens. And I just think she's just saying what her dream is. I don't think it's necessarily her saying what she thinks her reality will be.
Right. So later they
I
go to
just think,
this like swanky bar, and you're right, they have that conversation. And he's like,
yeah,
"Look, I can do this stuff, but like it can't be to that scale." Like he says it's the intensity
right.
and the scale that bothers me, not the idea.
Yeah,
The idea is great,
right.
but we're only two
Yes,
people. We can't
right.
have,
Right. And also, I mean, how do you foster a marriage, like a long-term marriage and relationship, when so much of your time and energy and your focus is on all of these other things that are basically like on fire,
right. And
right?
she is one of those selfless people. Like I have no doubt she can
Yeah.
do it.
Oh,
And
me
I
too.
admire her
Yeah.
for wanting to do it. There needs to be people like that
Agreed.
in the world. But girl, don't
Wholeheartedly
burn
agree.
yourself out. Like small
Yeah.
bites, small bites.
Yeah.
So now they're
Small
talking about
bites.
where they're going to live because he's in a high rise and she's like in a cutesy flat. And they talk about this for a little bit. And he basically is like, I think we should live together like 5 days a week and take 2 days to recharge. And she's like, And then she
Which, go
says,
ahead.
well, do you think that would feel like we were married? And he's like, I don't know. Like when you did that recharge, it seemed to really help us.
Uh-huh. Like, yeah, dude, you can't have it both ways,
Mm-hmm.
Chloe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was really pulling that card, and I was like, he's not wrong,
Yeah.
but I don't know. What do you think? I mean, there is a part of me that thinks that that's not a bad idea. I would
What?
love 2 days to myself a week.
Dude, this is the model. I'm telling you, younger generations, I mean, they're not that much younger than us, but younger generations are going
No,
to
they're
change
not.
how we fucking do things in this country.
Right, but I don't. I guess I'm going against the 5 days together, 2 days apart thing. I don't think that's a horrible
I don't
idea.
either.
I mean, Amy, Dr. Pepper doesn't even live with her
Mm-mm.
husband at
Mm-mm.
all.
Mm-mm.
So, but I do see how that could be problematic if you have 30 foster children and 3,000 dying animals.
So later,
God.
Michael calls Cam to see if he's
Oh,
okay
oh my
after the
God.
quote shootout.
You guys,
Mm,
we need to talk
mm,
about
mm,
this.
mm,
Can I
mm.
say something
Yeah, go
gross?
ahead.
Please don't hate me, but I need to know why, God, tell me why we had to get the blowjob view of Cameron's body.
Cameron
Why?
needs to move that camera up.
Amy, it was literally like if I was
Yeah.
sitting on the, like if I
You
were
were
on
getting
my
like the
knees.
porn POV
Yeah.
blowjob.
Like
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
blowing him and then stopped to have a
Ah,
conversation. That's what I like. It
no.
was just like, oh, and not that there's anything wrong with the
Mm-hmm.
way he
Mm-hmm.
looks. There's nothing wrong with his body. That is not what I'm saying. Do not
No,
take
I
it that
understand
way.
exactly what you're saying. It was a weird angle.
I'm just saying it was the weirdest fucking angle, and I don't understand why you would do
Yep.
that. That's
I
all that I'm
totally
saying. It was
agree.
bizarro.
Totally agree. So, Cam is ticked off because he says,
Well, his tick-off broken,
it is
Amy.
broken. He's like,
He's quite ticked off.
He's like, Becca saying that there's a theme of men silencing the women triggered me. Literally, never once did I tell Claire she can't say something. And watching Claire be Emily's puppet master, he realized Claire is an evil mastermind and he never wants to see her again. And Michael's like, okay, just calling to see
Oh,
how you were doing. But yeah.
but there is a part of me that thinks there is some truth to that. Do I think that the way that he said it was not the greatest?
Right.
Probably. But I don't think he's 100. I don't think that's a
Dude, I'm
huge
going to be real
lie.
honest with you. I don't know who to fucking believe. All these people
I know, I don't
are
either.
mixing me up.
But what I'm saying, like wholeheartedly, I do think that there is some truth to what he's saying, because looking back now and how she was sitting down with Emily and crying about the double date thing, she was kind of being a puppet master.
Well, I think
And
back
I think
to
we've kind of picked up on that all
I
along. I have
I
anyway.
think back to the group dinner when they were in the restaurant and Emily got up and left and Claire followed her and she's like, he's silencing you. He's silencing you. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I sure
Yep.
do.
So,
She kind of like did a little Budinsky
yeah.
to all of the relationships,
Yep.
except for Lauren and Orion. And I think
Mm.
I'm going to go on a limb here and say that I think that that didn't happen with Lauren, because Lauren didn't allow it
There was a
because I think Lauren saw through the
there
bullshit
was a
with the
point when
girls. I really
there was a
do.
point when they were on the honeymoon where Lauren was in an egg chair and she was crying and Claire was there with her and Claire was saying, "You don't deserve this. He's not listening to you. He's not respecting you." So she was talking
Right.
to Lauren a little bit, but Lauren I don't think would fall for it.
But that's what I'm saying is Lauren, if you really, and I maybe it's because Lauren left the apartments too. I don't know. I just see it as that did happen. But that was so early on. I just think that Lauren removed herself in a way that really cut her out of this like immature
Yeah.
bullshit. And I appreciate
Yep.
it.
So they basically talk a little bit about how Michael's feeling. He gives some verbal salad here and he's like, some word vomit, like my own readiness and willingness and it's whatever.
Yeah.
So then Cam gives him terrible advice and says, "Continue to date and then see if the marriage can come back together." And Michael's like, "No, I'm not going to take your
Mm,
advice, idiot." So then they go to the beer spa and it's set up for their anniversary. And he says he wants to do something nice for her. They get in the spa. He rips his shorts off. He's like, "Your boy's got to hang his balls out." I don't know.
mm.
Chloe says she feels hopeful and this is probably the healthiest relationship she's ever been in. He says he's very fond of her. She says he's very fond. No, he says he's very fond of her and she has his back unequivocally.
Mm.
Unequivocally. I can never say that word. So she says, "Is there anything you're weary of?" And he's like, "Well, the animal sanctuary is a bit overwhelming."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, you know what I told the experts I wanted was a Whole Foods man bun, 6'2" with yoga muscles, and you almost fit the bill."
I mean,
Okay. He is hot.
okay.
Mm-mm.
He's so hot.
So she asks,
And I even took note that he was wearing a little pearl earring.
mm,
And I was like, oh, I like
okay.
that.
Was he
What
wearing
is
was
happening
he
to
wearing the
me?
1977 sweatshirt?
No, he was in the
Oh,
tub,
right.
but
That's
he
true.
had a pearl
I expect him
earring.
to have that on and be in the tub.
The 1977
Yes.
shirt. All right, Michael, if you're
I want it
listening,
in the
next time
tub.
you're in the
Hmm.
bath,
We
we
get a
want it
lot of
in the
shots of
bath.
him in the tub now that I'm
I
thinking
know, and
about it, which is,
Amy, I love a tub. Nothing like
but it goes
I
with our
love a
image of
tub.
him as broke down Prince. He's tired. He's in his
Yes,
tub. He's
he's
got his
yes,
chalice of champagne, and he's just,
wine or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
So
in our
she says, "If decision day were tomorrow, what would you say?" And he's like, "I'm trending towards a yes, but I would just feel like we needed to create an emotional connection and sustain to progress." Like just again. And
yeah.
she says, "I'm hearing you might be leaning towards no." He literally said, "I'm trending towards yes." What are you talking about?
Oh, I know, but I think she was just really wanting like I think she's really feeling that she's in it and thinks that it's going to be a
I
yes, and I
understand,
think there
but
was just a
she's
disappointment.
attributing the wrong thing to what he's saying. He's like, "No,
Agreed,
no,
but
no.
I
I
can
just feel like I have insufficient data." And she's like, "Oh, well,
data.
fuck you, in your beer spa,
Well,
in your beer balls."
I just think in her defense, I just think she wasn't expecting that and I think it just kind of stung a little bit.
Oh,
I
100%. I
mean,
agree. 100%.
and I can see how that would happen. I would
But
have been
this
the
is a
same way.
situation where you have to stop and listen to the words being said.
I know, but it's also real life.
So Michael and Chloe meet with Dr. Pia, and Chloe tells the camera, "I thought we were doing great, but now I don't know." He expressed doubt about what he would say, and it threw me. So Pia's like, "How's it been, guys? How's it going?" He says our values are aligned, which is great.
Mhm.
Pia asks about their families, and we learn that Michael's mother doesn't even know he's married.
Michael, Michael, my dear sweet Michael.
This was a
What?
misstep, Michael.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that.
Yeah, because
I'm going to
what that
agree
would
with
tell
that.
me, and I'm not saying that
You're
this,
not
right,
committed.
what that would tell me is in case this doesn't work out, I don't want to upset my mother.
Yeah.
Mm,
But that's a lack of commitment for me.
I would
I
see it
would
the same
feel
way.
that as a lack of commitment. Yeah.
He's waiting until after decision day, and Chloe says, "Let me jump in. I'm okay with this. We don't need to get mom all riled up." And Pia's like, "Okay." So then
Mhm.
she says, "Are you guys having any doubt?" Michael says, "My concern is how this will progress." They talk a little bit about the living situation, the leases, and Pia's like, "I'm going to tell you right now, you shouldn't live separately.
Mhm.
Y'all are married," she says. "Why is there even a conversation about not living together?" And Michael says, "I'm nervous because I've never been married before." And I just wrote, he's overthinking this. But I
Yeah.
think
I
Michael's an
agree with that.
overthinker. I think he overthinks a lot of things.
I know, because I feel that
Mhm.
too. This is where I would have been interested to see Pepper's take on this.
Peppa.
Because again, Pepper doesn't live with her husband, our dear, dear, sweet little pet.
Yeah.
So I wholeheartedly am like curious what advice would she have? Like
I think
if
my
Pia's
advice
dead
would
set
be you
against it.
guys do what you need to what feels right for both of you.
Thank you.
Like,
I
if
agree with
it
that.
feels right if Chloe's sitting there saying, like, I 100% agree with this," and if it felt genuine that she was saying that, then I would be like, "Okay, well, you do you, whatever."
I am going to tell you right now, if Patrick came home from work today
Mm.
and said,
Mhm.
"You know what? I think we should get an apartment
Mm.
that we can take turns staying in
Mhm.
2 days a week,
Mm.
like we'll alternate." I would
I'm
be
gonna
like,
stop you right there.
"Oh."
Who
Hmm.
knows you in this world better than me? No one.
Well, no
You would
one.
not
What?
be okay with Patrick staying in an apartment because 'cause you'd be like, "What's going on at the apartment?" You would not be okay with this.
No, I mean well, all right, let's back up. If Patrick came home and said, "You can live in an apartment
And
for
I'll stay
2
here with the
days."
kids.
Not even an apartment, a hotel.
Okay,
You can stay at
okay.
a hotel or you can go stay in Amy's
Mhm,
in Jenny's room.
mhm.
My bags would be packed before he even finished saying it because I am somebody that I value my alone time.
I do too.
I love
I
being
do too.
alone and I'm really good at being alone.
I am too.
And I find that I am a better wife and a better mother
Once you
when
recharge.
I can recharge.
Mhm.
Yes. And even though my kids are 21 years old, this would have suited me and served my life and my mental well being so greatly if I had that opportunity when my kids were
I agree
younger.
100%. I
Maybe even not like 2 days a week, but maybe like once a month.
dude, for
Yeah,
3 or 4 years while I was working at the university, I would go on academic conferences, and it was everything. It was
I
everything.
know. I know. I used to
Mm,
do it too
it
when
was
I was
everything.
well, when I had 2 and 3 jobs, but I quit
Yeah.
those jobs a couple of months back, but with my other side hustle, I used to travel like once or
Mhm,
twice a year. We
mhm,
would go to these big conferences and those were my escape,
mhm.
like
Yeah,
truly.
yeah.
So I get that. I'm just saying I don't think it's a deal
I don't
breaker.
either, and especially if they both seem to wanna do this. Like I said,
Yeah.
how we view marriage and relationships is really changing in this country, and I think,
Yeah, but
we need
also
to think
like
outside the box sometime.
I just feel like as a whole, society and this generation, newer like generations are seeing that there can be
Yeah.
some fluidity to
Yes.
this
Yes.
where you can still be 100% committed to each other
Yes.
and not cheating and seeing other people,
Right.
like certainly not having an open marriage, but still having that space to decompress. And
Ding, ding,
that's
ding.
what I'm trying to
Yes.
say,
Yep.
you
For
know?
many people, financially, that's not possible, right? To live
No, and that's
apart.
100% why I'm not doing
Right,
it.
but if you can afford it and you're both consenting adults and that's what you wanna do, you fly your freak flag. I don't care what you wanna do.
Mhm.
If you wanna live with the donkey, go ahead, as long as you don't hurt the
Mhm.
donkey. If you
Mhm.
wanna be
Like,
on an animal
you
sanctuary and have 3,000 dying cows with wheelchairs and 5 foster kids, go
Oh,
ahead. You're a better person
oh,
than me because I couldn't last 5 seconds doing
I
that. I
know.
could take care of 1 cow with a wheelchair. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Oh my god, new reality show. Put a camera on me taking care of a cow with
Taking
a
care of
wheelchair.
a cow in a wheelchair. No, it would basically here's what that would look like. Amy's gonna call me. I don't know what to
No,
do.
I'm
And
calling
I'm gonna go
Timmy.
up there and no, I'm gonna go up there and shovel that shit while you have your Janelle energy and you're just like kind of 4 steps
Yep.
behind, like
Yep.
pretending
I'm
you're
just
taking
directing.
notes.
I'm directing.
Yeah.
Here's what
Yeah.
you need to do. No,
Oh,
anything like that needs to be done that's hard work, I call Timmy. Timmy,
okay.
Timmy. He would need to put the cow in the wheelchair with his little hernia and be pushing the
Oh,
wheelchair.
Amy.
All right. So she loves now Chloe says, "I love this relationship." And she's like, "We're just living in the moment right now and, we're just trying not to overthink things." Pia says,
Mm,
"But are you feeling authentic because this feels curated?" I think
curated. I
Pia has some
know.
PTSD from decision day that she
From
just lived through.
Oh my god, I do
Mhm.
too. I do
Mhm.
too. Yes.
And she's
Yep.
like, "Look, I hope that's fine on camera, but I hope behind the scenes that you're talking authentically with one another about things." She's like, "I learned our lesson." And Cam and
I
Claire had a
know.
whole journey we knew nothing about behind the scenes.
It's interesting that she used those that had those choice of words though,
Yep.
because people online have alluded like there have been people that said that she was a paid
Yeah,
actor
that's
that
so
was,
ridiculous. I don't get that vibe at
so
all.
ridiculous. I don't either.
Mm-mm.
I just think what people are not used to is a little bit of emotional maturity.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Truly.
Chloe,
And I
like,
think that
she
yeah.
takes offense to this, and she's like, "I am authentically
Yes.
myself."
Yes. And that's why I think we're just collectively not used to seeing people on this show know who they are
Yeah.
because they're always 20-year-olds like the rest of the
Chloe's done
cast.
the work. Like, she's put in the work.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she's also 39.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
thank you.
So
Yeah.
she says, PS tells the camera, like, "I hope Chloe isn't people pleasing." And I just wrote, "This poor therapist has trauma from decision day."
I know.
Okay.
Pia needs therapy.
So next time on, Chloe says to Michael, "I want to be very clear.
Oh.
I think if we choose to stay married, we need to move in together."
Mhm.
Lauren saw Orion. I don't know why I have that. I forget what
Mm,
that was. Michael says we
gross.
can't buy a house this soon. Like, we shouldn't be looking for a house because, again, he's terrified she's going to fill it with teen fosters.
Yeah.
And
And half dead
Becca
animals.
is really missing Austin. Then we see the girls
Mhm.
getting a hold of Chloe, and they're sitting
Oh
there
yeah.
like Inquisition style, like, "What is going on? What do you feel about Michael? What blah blah blah?" You know what I mean? And she's just like,
Mhm. Mhm.
and they're like,
I
"Is he
know.
silencing you?"
But
Claire
again,
wasn't
I
there though.
know.
Claire wasn't there.
I know. But again, though, we see it feels like a gang. Like they feel like a little girl
They're
gang.
running around, telling everybody they're being silenced. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's like, "I don't know." Michael
You know what?
says then he's
We just
questioning
need
his
like,
marriage. So
you know what I've decided we need? We need all of the girls to just walk around, saying what they want to say. And then we just need Brennan behind them going, shh, shh,
shh, shh.
shh.
With like a cow prod. Shh, shh.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. I think we've said it all and
Ah,
then some.
and then some.
Tired. Okay, we got Prison Brides we're going to be covering. That'll drop for you guys
Yes.
tomorrow.
And that's our finale
It's
of
our
Prison Brides,
finale. It's
right?
our finale. And then on
Yeah.
Sunday, Amanda and I will finish talking about Stolen Youth inside the cult at Sarah
Oh my
Lawrence.
God.
Wild.
I
Wild.
finished that last night. I cannot.
Wild, right?
I, Patrick and I truly just kept looking at each other with like a blank
Yeah.
stare and like our jaws on the floor.
Yeah. It was insane. It was insane.
Like we had no words to even say to each other. It was just a facial
And it was
expression
really
because
well done, wasn't it?
it was very
Yeah.
well done.
I
Yeah.
I like I enjoyed it, but you know what I mean by that. I appreciated the quality of
Yes.
the documentary and hated all the
Yeah.
content. All right,
Yes.
guys, if you like what you hear, support us over on Patreon, Supercast, or Apple subscriptions where we talk cults, murder, and soap operas.
Yes.
I mean, what more do you need in
And
life?
so, you know what I was thinking? You guys,
Mm.
you should invite your friend to the pod.
Oh,
If you're listening, a backdoor friend, invite a
grab a
friend.
backdoor friend and be like,
Grab
yeah.
grab one of your real life
Mm-hmm,
backdoor friends
mm-hmm.
and bring them to the backdoor
Just be like,
friends.
"I know you're busy solving murders, but I need to interrupt and tell you about this
Yes.
podcast where they really put
Solve
down
all the
psychics and
murders.
mediums, and I hate them both." Just kidding, guys.
Ew, that laugh. God, I hated that.
Guys, we appreciate you. Thank you for all the good reviews you've been leaving. We really appreciate it. And that's it. Thanks, Steph.
Love your
We'll see you
bones.
soon. Bye. 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 You hang up.
Oh,
You hang up.
goodbye. No, you
No,
hang up.
you hang up. You hang up.
No, you.